to the Upside Sports Network. My name is Michael. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Sunday morning for some Sunday morning baseball anyway. First pitch swinging of the game for the Cubs, and there's quickly one away. Bailey Falter on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies. Morel led off things for the Cubs there, popped the first pitch straight up and was caught by Alec Bohm to be retired. One pitch, one out. For the lineup for the Cubs, they have Morel in center, Nico Hoerner at short, Patrick Wisdom at third, Suzuki in right. He's your possibly Rookie of the Year candidate out in the National League. Ian Happ is your designated hitter. Swindell is your first baseman. Gomes at catcher. Boat at second base. And Velasquez in left. Quickly ahead, nothing in two here is Bailey Falter. A couple of strikes on the inside and outside corner there for him. Nice off-speed pitch on the corner there. Gets Hoerner swinging, and it's 0-2. Hoerner hitting .303 this year. 769 OPS with 6 home runs. The pitch upstairs, and it's 1-2. Welcome in, Charles. Appreciate you joining us. Hopefully it will. We've had some good luck over the past week with a lot of good games. Didn't really have any big blowouts or anything like that. Nothing like the Blue Jays and Red Sox anyway, that's for sure. 28-5 was the final there. That one was fouled away. Remains 1-2. The lefty set and the pitch. This one fouled down the third base line. Foul. Nick Castellanos getting a lot of airtime as he was once a former Chicago Cub. Since moved on to the Reds and now the Phillies. Another foul ball down the third base line. Looks like they're actually talking with Nick Castellanos here in the top of the first. It's one thing I've enjoyed about these early Sunday games. The Peacock crew is not afraid to use those mics in game with players. They have a little bit different presentation than most other broadcasts that I've seen. The pitch. This one lifted, foul down the first base line. Still 1-2. Falter set and the pitch. This one up the middle, a nice sliding stop by the second baseman, flipped onto first. Was he in time? He was. Nice play. Second out of the inning. Nice 8-pitch at bat there, though, for Nico Hoerner. Kind of a cue shot out to where normally the second baseman would be. With the shift on, a lot more difficult than it needed to be, though. They're able to get the job done. For the Phillies, they're going to go with a lineup of Vierling in center, leading off. Schwarber in left in the 2-hole. Hoskins is your first baseman today. Hall is your designated hitter. Castellanos slides down to the 5 spot. Stott is your second baseman. Bohm at third. Gregorius is your shortstop, and Stubbs is doing the catching. Strike there at the bottom of the zone for strike one. The second pitch here misses down in the dirt. Wisdom is able to hold up on that swing. A little bit surprising they have Wisdom in the 3-hole, in my opinion. Supposedly he's having a nice year for the Cubs from outside observers looking in, but he's still hitting .221. And with a guy like Suzuki on the roster, I'm wondering why you're not giving him that 3 spot in the lineup. No Contreras in the lineup. That one powered right past him. It's 1 and 2. Falter set, and the pitch. This one popped down the first base line. Castellanos running over for a look, and neither one of them are there to get there, able to get there in time. The 1-2 again. Powered right past him, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. Nice piece of pitching there by Falter. After the top of the 1st, no runs, no hits, no errors. 2 up for the Phillies, Vierling, Schwarber, and Hoskins. Thank you guys joining us for some Sunday morning baseball anyway. Cubs versus Phillies. Last night we watched the Chicago White Sox take on the Cleveland Guardians. It was all White Sox early, and it was kind of a back and forth game. A 2-run single in the bottom of the 8th gave the White Sox the advantage, and Foster shut it out. No big news overnight anyway. I guess you could say the only news so far today is that the Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson match that was supposed to be an exhibition out in LA has been postponed. Apparently that was the undercard on the night. The main event has been postponed, so their event got scratched as well. Drew Smyly taking the mound for the Cubs. In 11 starts, he's 2-5 with a 4.22 ERA and 49 innings pitched, 39 strikeouts to 12 walks. He'll probably be in demand around the trade deadline this year, as there's not going to be a lot of starting pitching on the market, but you could see a guy like Drew Smyly being moved. Acquisition cost is not going to be prohibitive. Vierling up there. Phillies have tinkered with their lineup a little bit. Schwarber is not leading off anymore, at least in today's game. Castellanos has slid down to the 5 spot. We'll see how that does. Strike 1 to Vierling, hitting .237, 3 homers, 13 RBIs, and a 310 on base percentage. This one tapped foul, and it's 0-2. The set and the pitch upstairs, and it's 1-2. Working quickly is Smyly. The pitch. Little curveball there beneath the zone. Lifted foul. Nice over-the-shoulder catch by Swindell for the 1st out of the inning in foul territory. 1 away. First pitch swinging here for Schwarber. Lifts it out to center. Morel makes the catch, 2 away. This game is moving very quickly here in the first. Rhys Hoskins digging in, takes a strike right down the middle. Or excuse me, right at the belt anyway, on the inside corner. Hoskins hitting .241, 808 OPS with 19 home runs on the year. That one misses, and it's 1-1. That one misses down low again, and it's 2-1 now. Smiley struggling to locate that breaking ball for a strike. Has induced a few swing and misses on it anyway, but none of them have really gone in the strike zone. Fastball there right at the knees at the bottom of the zone. And it's 2-2, fouled away by Hoskins there. Smiley one pitch away from a clean first inning. Shakes off the catcher, set, and the pitch. Another one in the dirt, gets another swing and a miss by Hoskins, and that's the end of the first. Quick inning anyway, no runs, no hits, no errors for either club. We go to second. Suzuki, Happ, and Swindell do up. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Sunday morning, watching the Cubs and Phillies. We'll be doing the Phillies, or excuse me, the Padres and Mets for Sunday Night Baseball. You guys are just joining us. We appreciate you. Let us know where you're watching from. If this is your first time joining us, don't be afraid to say hello. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. That way you'll be notified whenever we do go live. We also post a lot of shorts anyway. Keep you up to date on all the latest news from your favorite team. Only other news right now in sports today has been that the Mavericks signed a two-way player. Guarantee very few, if any of you have ever even heard of him, Tyler Dorsey. So it's kind of a slow morning so far in the sports world. Trade deadline coming up. We'll probably see a little bit of movement today. We've already seen a couple of trades go down with the New York Mets, getting Daniel Vogelbach to be their DH going forward. They also had to make a trade for a catcher as they were in the immediate need of a catcher. Just waiting for him to get back out of commercial break. A couple of the biggest names to keep an eye out for at trade deadline right now are going to be the San Diego Padres and whether or not they're really that desperate to pair Juan Soto with Fernando Tatis. I think they are that desperate. I just don't think that they're going to be able to hammer out a deal that's to the liking of the Mets, or excuse me, to the liking of the Nationals. The other teams interested in him are the Mets and the New York Yankees. Of course, the Yankees already have two stalwarts at the corner outfield spots, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge. They still have to pay Aaron Judge, so it'll be interesting to see if they actually go after Juan Soto when they have to negotiate a deal for Judge. Suzuki digging in, has a .278 average, an 824 OPS with 7 home runs on the year. That one misses outside, ball one. Or up high, ball one. Second pitch there, tapped foul, and it's 1-1. The game in Philadelphia. Suzuki on the right side against the lefty. Falter set, and the delivery. At the top of the zone, lashed foul again into the seats, and it's 1-2. Phillies have won all three of Falter's last three starts, but he did not get a decision in any of those games. This one just off the outside corner, and it's 2-2. Good eye by Suzuki. The pitch lifted out into right. Back a few steps is Castellanos. Makes the easy play, and there is one away here in the top of the second. If you guys are just joining us, thank you for joining us here on a Sunday morning. Hit that like and subscribe button. Follow us over on Twitter at UpsideSN. This one upstairs, and it's 1-0. Stubbs trying to get the first base umpire to get him to call a strike, but that was not close to a check swing. Happ hitting .280, 9 homers, 44 RBIs, and a .367 on base percentage. Nice curveball there, but just outside, and it's 2-0. .94 in Philadelphia, 40% humidity. This one popped up, shallow center in a few steps, and making the catch is Veerling for the second out here. Still nothing doing offensively for either team in this game. Falter up to 22 pitches now. Frank Swindell is your first baseman today. .235 average, does have 8 homers, 35 RBIs, and a .279 on base percentage. The set and the pitch. Ooh, that's a tough pitch for Swindell. That pitch was, low and inside. Might have touched the very bottom of the inside corner. Swindell still saying wow to the home plate umpire. This one down the middle, lashed out into right. Castellanos over a few steps and makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning here at the bottom of the top of the second. For the Phillies, they'll have Hall, Castellanos, and Stott. Hall, of course, was called up after the injury due to Bryce Harper anyway. That's why you don't see Harper in the lineup right now. He is still injured. Phillies trying to tread water anyway until they get him back. Dombrowski's not one to give up on the season, though, so they should be active around the trade deadline. Shortstop is a spot that could use some more production, as Gregorius has kind of fallen off a cliff this year with production. To the bottom of the second we go. But I mentioned Juan Soto in the trade deadline anyway. He declined a $440 million contract offer from the Nationals. Pretty much immediately after that decision was announced, it was announced that the Nationals were going to begin shopping him. Ken Rosenthal breaking the news on both of those. But Juan Soto was not happy with the contract offer. The money itself, $440 million, that's great. But the 15 years and average annual value of $29 million, not so great, especially when you consider it's a 15-year deal, and deals 15 years from now. You're telling me that 29 million is going to be enough to get something like that done for a superstar player of Juan Soto's caliber? Granted, he's not having the best year of his career, but he's not having a worst year, and he just won the home run derby to kind of boost his stock a little bit more. But maybe something around 440 gets done, but for maybe like 12 years or 11 years, something like that. First pitch there to Hall, standing in on the left side, hitting 277, 5 homers, 9 RBIs, and a 309 on base percentage. Is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Hall requests time. Lefty on lefty match here. In the dirt for ball 1. 5 of the 11 hits Hall has since being called up have all been home runs. Smiley set, and the pitch. Just at the bottom of the zone on the outside corner. Gets the call there. And it's 1-2. Smiley set, and the pitch. This one in the dirt, but Hall swings and misses. Jogs down to first, but the out is recorded. That's the first out of the inning. Smiley up to 14 pitches now. Castellanos digging in. He does swing early at the first pitch. He has over 1,000 OPS when he does swing at that first pitch, though. Oh, 0-1 here to Castellanos, hitting 245. This one upstairs, Castellanos chases it above the zone, and it's quickly 0-2. He has a 656 OPS with 8 home runs. Certainly down numbers compared to what he's been doing over the past couple of years. Ever since his trade to Chicago, he's been the best, repeat, the best hitter in all of baseball. The 0-2 is fouled away, and we'll do it again. This year, he's not been quite that level of hitter. Paul Goldschmidt up there is probably the best hitter this year, along with Aaron Judge. Those are your MVP candidates in the respective leagues. This one beneath the zone, the off-speed pitch fools him, and he goes down on strikes. That's the third strikeout now for Drew Smiley. He's got it working. And it'll be up to Stott anyway to keep the inning alive. If you're just joining us, hit that like button. Really appreciate you joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe as well, hit that one. We've gained about 94, 95 of y'all over the past couple of days, or over the past 3 weeks anyway. See if we can get that number over 400 by the end of the month. Fastball in there right at the knees, 0-1. Another swing and a miss at that breaking ball outside of the zone, and it's 0-2. These Phillies hitters really are not laying off that curveball. He has not been able to throw it for a strike, and yet they're all swinging at it. Another one in the dirt, this one a little bit further outside, and it doesn't offer at it, and it's 1-2. Maybe the Phillies will finally start paying attention to that the second time through the lineup. We'll see. The pitch by Smiley, fastball, just overthrew that one as that one bounced in the dirt before home plate. Or held on to it a little too long. And the count goes to 2-2. 2-2 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Smiley at 22 pitches now. That's a lot of twos on the screen. The pitch, little grounder to second, flipped on to first, and that's the end of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors for both sides through 2 innings. It'll be Gomes, Boat, and Velasquez for the Cubs in the top of the third. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Sunday morning. Other names to keep an eye out for around the trade deadline going to be Shohei Ohtani. We finally have first actual rumors that teams are at least calling about Shohei Ohtani finally. Not really surprising. We told you for about the last 2 weeks that they've been the worst team in all of Major League Baseball since the 25th of May, and that they were going nowhere. They had no future. Everything that they seemed to try to do around Mike Trout or Shohei Ohtani just turns to, well, ash. It doesn't work out. Pitching staff doesn't work. Big free agent acquisitions for the lineup don't work. And that's not just this year. That's been an ongoing problem for them for the last 10 years, 12 years. Think back to the Garropolo signing, the Josh Hamilton signing, Justin Upton, Anthony Rendon, the shortstop that they traded for a few years ago. Anderson Simmons was there for a number of years. Nothing really worked. This year they go out and get Thor to take over in the rotation, give him a $20 million deal, 1-year deal. It's going to be a mercenary, build up his stock, and that hasn't worked out. They tried the Bundy thing, and while he pitched well for them, that didn't work out in the long run either. Just nothing seems to go well for the Angels. They just need to reset their franchise, in my opinion, and they don't really have many pieces to go out there and do that with. They, of course, could trade their closer, Iglesias. I expect that, honestly. There's not a lot of good top-end closers in the league right now, so he would be a man in demand. Looks like we're about to get underway for the top of the third. But Shohei Ohtani would definitely command a sizable package in return. Probably do some MLB-ready young prospects, high quality, as he would instantly become the best pitcher and hitter available. And yes, over Juan Soto. I do think the package for Juan Soto probably will be a little bit more just because of the youth of a Soto versus Shohei Ohtani. Looks like we're just about to get underway. And Gomes is in there. First pitch. That's a nice strike on the outer half of the plate at the belt. 0-1. Gomes hitting .213. 542 OPS and 3 home runs. The pitch. Make it 4 off the bat. That one you know is gone right down the line. The only question is if it was fair or foul. That one right down the third base line is fair, and that's the first run of the game. Cubs on top, 1-0. Nice piece of hitting there. 400 feet, 100 miles an hour off the bat. First hit of the game anyway, and the Cubs take the early lead 1-0. That was beautiful. Yan Gomes, once thought of as one of the top catchers in all of baseball. In his time with the Nationals, spent a little bit of time with the Cleveland Indians back in the day. Now, of course, the Cleveland Guardians. First pitch here to Boat, misses well inside, and it's 1-0. Off-speed pitch, about belt high, right on the inside corner, and Gomes crushes it into an empty seat out there in left. Fastball misses high there, and it's 2-0. One thing that the Phillies could use going forward. Welcome back, Zach. Nice pitch there, and it's 2-1. Fastball there on the outer half. Appreciate you joining us again for Sunday Morning Baseball. Swing and a miss. I think if he laid off that one, you'd have a 3-1 count, but as it is, it goes to 2-2. 65% of the home runs hit by the Cubs this year have been solo home runs entering today. Apparently, that's the highest percentage in all of baseball. That one misses inside. 3-2. Yep. Yesterday's game was pretty good. I do have that one still up on YouTube if you want to catch it. That one. Wow. Looks like he held up his check swing, but first base umpire rings him up after he already started running to first. Flipped his bat and everything. The replay probably if looking at the replay, yeah, he kind of went around. He was trying to sell it. This game is on Peacock. If you want to follow along with us and chat along. First pitch here to Velazquez. Nice off-speed pitch right there at the knees on the outer half, and it's 0-1. Another off-speed pitch. Looked like it found the zone, but didn't get the call on that one at the top of the zone, and it's 1-1. Nice fastball, 91 at the inside corner, and it's 1-2. Velazquez hit that home run last night out into deep center. Or on Friday anyway. Had 2 home runs in that game. That one at the top of the zone. Did he go around again? This time the first base umpire says no. Count goes to 2-2. Looking at the replay, yeah, he kind of went around again. This time the Cubs get the benefit of the doubt. One out here in the top of the third. Home run by Yan Gomes is your scoring so far. The set by Falter and the pitch. Nice off-speed pitch. This time well inside though, and it's 3-2. That one misses low. Not really competitive, though. And Velazquez works a 1-out walk. Coming back around to the top of the lineup. Morale, Horner, and Wisdom will be next anyway. Appreciate you guys joining us. Morale took the first pitch of the game. Oh, wow, and he takes the first pitch at this at bat and lines it past third base. Bohm unable to make a diving stop. This one goes into the corner. Velazquez sent around. The throw home does not get there. The throw goes through to the pitcher anyway, and it's now 2-0 Cubs on that RBI double by Morale. Looks like he's attacking that ball early in the count against Falter, not allowing him to get that get me over fastball. Crushed it past the diving Bohm. Nice piece of hitting there. Schwarber got it in as fast as he could, but the throw by Gregorius bounced a couple of times before it got to the catcher. A stronger throw, and you might have had a chance at getting Velazquez at the plate. So it's not just offensively for Gregorius that seems to start to be falling behind. Defense there leaves a little bit to be desired. Schwarber hit the cutoff man. It's your job, cutoff man, to get it all the way home. Horner digging in, 302 average, 6 home runs, 30 RBIs. With a 766 OPS. And he's quickly behind 0-2 here. Morale is third among rookies with extra base hits, well behind, though, the pace set by Bobby Witt Jr. and Julio Rodriguez. Morale at 26, the other two above 36. That one misses up and in, and it's 1-2. Horner, of course, one of the top prospects for the Cubs over the past couple of years. After most of their other top prospects, of course, graduated, Schwarber being one of those at one point. That one misses in the dirt, and it's 2-2. The set by Falter. And the pitch. Little tapper back to the screen. Morale was going on contact there. Actually, no, he was trying to steal third. That was interesting. He'll make his way back to second. Morale does have 9 stolen bases this year. He's been caught 4 times, though. Dances off a second, trying to distract Falter. That one plunks Horner in the toe, and now it'll be first and second with 1 out. Falter running into a little bit of trouble now. Has been unable to retire the last 3 batters. 4 batters in the lineup, anyway. Pardon me, 4 out of 5. There will be a mound visit here. See if they can settle down Falter here, as he is faltering. Got to wonder how many times broadcasters are going to use that in his career. Downside of having a name like that. Yan Gomes got the scoring started here with a solo home run out to left. Velasquez reached. And then Morale hit that double down the left field line, scoring him. Then we just had a hits batsman with Nico Horner. And Patrick Wisdom due up, followed by Suzuki. Cubs going very young this year. They do have a couple of really good players on their lineup. Really good pitchers. Marcus Stroman, of course, was their big free agency acquisition, along with Suzuki. Suzuki getting, I think it was a 6-year deal from the Cubs. Even with the Padres doing the all-out press to try to get him. Wisdom takes a strike for 1 there. Fastball misses the zone, and it's 1-1. Wisdom struck out in the first. Wisdom hitting .220, 17 homers, 47 RBIs with a .315 on base percentage. The set and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Wisdom falling behind now, 1-2. The set and the pitch. Upstairs, and it's 2-2. Not really all that close. One thing Wisdom has struggled with is, of course, the strikeouts so far this year, even with his improved offensive numbers. This one misses low. Good eye there by Wisdom, and it's 3-2. Got to wonder if they're going to send Morale. Try a double steal here with a 3-2 count. Nope. And this one is fouled back to the screen by Wisdom. He wanted that one back the second he let go of that bat. He knows he missed a chance to drive that ball. But the count remains 3-2. The set and the pitch. Well inside, and that's ball 4. Got to think the bullpen's going to get going now for the Phillies if he continues to struggle with the strike zone. Yep, they are getting somebody out. Nelson is loosening out there. Nick Nelson, the right-handed pitcher. Bases loaded for Suzuki, nowhere to put him. The pitch, right on the outside corner. Good fastball there. 0-1. Morale at third, Horner at second. Wisdom, who just worked that walk, is at first. Swing and a miss. Suzuki did not miss that one by much. Trying to crush that one over the seats and get a grand slam, but falls behind 0-2. Suzuki hitting .277, 7 homers, 28 RBIs on the year. Looking to put a crooked number on the board for the Cubs. That one, he takes strike 3 right at the knees, and he knew it and is disgusted with himself for taking that one. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Falter. I mean, that was a pitch he could probably have driven quite a ways. I mean, it wasn't even that close to the bottom of the zone. It looks like he got it up a little bit higher than he was hoping. But in either event, 2 away now. That's 31 pitches so far this inning for Falter. First pitch swinging here for Ian Happ, and he pounds it back behind home plate. And it's 0-1. The pitch grounded to short. Gregorius flips on to second. Just beats the runner there. Wisdom ran all the way through second base, so it would have been out either way after he came off the bag anyway. Falter unhappy with himself the way that inning went, but he gets out of it, only allowing 2. And we go to the bottom half of the third, 2-0 Cubs. I like that. Phillies, or the broadcast for the Peacock anyway, in their Cubs montage as they go out to commercial break anyway. If you guys are any type of like baseball movie fan, you'll remember the movie Rookie of the Year, Henry Rowan Gardner. They actually have him as part of that montage as they go to commercial. Hmm. Wow. Wow. Just listening to the media exchange last night between Castellanos and a reporter. Mm. Apparently, they got into it a little bit, or at least the reporter was trying to make it more than what it was. Basically, Castellanos was asked if he heard the boos after he struck out last night, and basically said, "Come on, man, that's a stupid question. I didn't lose my hearing." And then the reporter basically asked him again, it's like, "That's not a stupid question. Did you hear the boos?" And he basically said, Castellanos turns to the other reporters and says, "Hey, did any of y'all want to answer that question for him and tell him why it's a stupid question?" And so the reporter got a little bit more bent out of shape. 1-1 here to Alec Boehm. Misses inside, and it's 2-1. We all understand Nick Castellanos isn't having his greatest year, but he's still not a chump at the plate anyway. That one bounced in there. Looks like Phillies are finally paying attention to that off-speed pitch is not finding the zone. And it's 3-1 here to Boehm. But the reporter got what he wanted. Headlines. Swing and a miss. Boehm unable to catch up with that heater, and it's 3-2. Appreciate you guys joining us. Fouled back here, and we'll do it again. But thank you guys for joining us. As I mentioned, it's Sunday morning baseball, about to hit noon here in the Central Time Zone. Cubs on top 2-0 after the home run by Gomes. An RBI double by Morel in the top half of the third. This one, hard hit ball down the line and left, but foul. That was a very hard hit ball. Crushed one of the seats out there and bounced all the way back onto the field. We'll do it again. Boehm now hitting in the 7 spot in the lineup. Might have actually hit the cement steps underneath the seat anyway. This one, a little nubber out to first base, flipped on to Smiley, covering at first, and that's the first out of the inning. Just went watching that exchange anyway with Nick Castellanos and the reporter last night. I mean, the reporter was clearly trying to rile up Nick Castellanos to get some kind of reaction. All Castellanos basically said was that a stupid question. The Phillies representation, anyway, that was handling the media availability, noticed what was going on, tried to step in between Castellanos and the reporter, and they both kind of kept giving it back to each other. Didi Gregorius digging in, a 230 average this year, 1 home run, 17 RBIs, with a 290 on base percentage. Swing and a miss, misses that fastball on the outer half of the plate, belt high. And this is definitely a spot in the lineup where the Phillies could look to improve either at the deadline or in free agency. I believe they'll definitely look at it during free agency, as Gregorius is a free agent at the end of the season. I think he's making like $12 million, $10 million, somewhere in that range this year. So they will free up a little bit more money to be able to go out and get a guy at the top of the market. Hard hit ball, but right into the shift. Horner flips on to first, and the out is recorded. 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Catcher Garrett Stubbs due next. Real Muto getting the day off. 262 average this year, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, and 328 on base percentage. In the games we've done, he's actually been he's been one of the more productive hitters in the Phillies lineup. So not somebody to sleep on if you're a Cubs fan. Strike at the very tippy top of the zone. Smiley's really got that first pitch strike working in all 9 at bats so far. He's gotten ahead 0-1. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling, especially since you're a White Sox fan. You don't see too many people who are White Sox and Cubs fans anyway from Chicago. Like, I'm from Texas, but yet I never rooted for the Astros during their winning years over the past, 6 years. Hard hit ball by Stubbs there. Gliding over and making the catch is Suzuki for the 3rd out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down yet again. Smiley with a perfect game so far. Let me go ahead and knock on wood for all you Cubs fans. I don't know if they're going to be good for the next couple of years. I mean, they got some good young pieces now. They cleared off the books of a lot of salary. And their owner, after clearing off the books and saying we need to trim payroll, that was the reason for the moves to get rid of Schwarber and Rizzo and Bryant and all of those pieces. Contreras, I believe, is going to be a free agent after this year or next. I can't remember which, but he's not expected to be around this Cubs organization for much longer either. Ian Happ is also a candidate to be traded this deadline season. Patrick Wisdom as well, see if they can get something for him. But those are some names to keep an eye on. But the Cubs shed a lot of payroll over the past, a couple of years anyway. They'll have a lot of money to spend in the next couple of years as well, now that they've trimmed that payroll so much. The one interesting I found is that the owner of the Chicago Cubs was interested in buying a Premier League team out in Europe anyway. Those are not cheap, by the way, so maybe that's what he was trying to save up his money for. Was not good for the Cubs fans to see all their fan favorites go away. Javi Baez. Jason Hayward's contract is quite exorbitant, and that's part of the reason why they don't have much money. Hayward is on the injured list right now, but he will be a free agent after next year. That'll free up another $22 million for them. Oh, he stays. I mean, he wasn't expected to win a World Series. He wasn't expected to even make the playoffs this year. I think Contreras is gone at the deadline, honestly. He's probably the best catcher on the market, one of the top 3 or 4 hitters on the market as well. Teams always need a good hitting catcher. As I mentioned in an earlier live stream, that the catching position in general has had their batting average drop by over 40 points in the last 20 years. He's one of the few catchers that can actually still hit for some average. Schwindel pops this one up. Castellanos is underneath it, makes the catch. 1st out of the inning. First pitch swinging here again for the Cubs. Gomes pops this one up in his first at bat since hitting that home run. Hoskins unable to get over there. It's like the 4th ball that's been hit in the field of play anyway, in foul territory. that either he or Castellanos haven't been able to get there. Welcome in, Clay. A fire sale? Well, I mean, they don't have too much to sell. I mean, they could trade Gomes, a light hitting catcher. A lot of playoff pedigree there could be of use anyway. But Contreras is the better catcher, and he'll probably go first. They could trade a starter or two. Wisdom is probably one of the few position players aside from Ian Happ they could move. Outside of that, they don't have much that they could move. And other teams are going to have similar pieces to those that they can get rid of as well. Gomes, another hard hit ball. This one's gone as well down the left field line. Another no-doubter. Fantastic piece of hitting again by Gomes. And this will definitely boost his stock as the deadline draws near. Mets did take a catcher in the first round of the draft, so maybe they could go after a guy like Contreras for now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the Cubs are going to be firing anybody. They knew they were not going to be a good team coming into the year. They're probably going to finish 70 wins. If everything broke right for them, maybe they could break 75, 80. If things, due to injury, cost them to lose a few more games, then maybe they finish in the high 60s. But I never thought they were an above 500 team coming into the year. I thought Suzuki would be a nice ad for them. I thought Stroman would be a nice ad for them, and that would keep them their head above water for their fan base at least. Bote again unable to hold up on that check swing, and that's the second time he's been struck out that way. That's the fourth strikeout for Falter. 3-0 Cubs here in the top of the fourth, 2 away. Yan Gomes has his 6th career multi-home run game, his first since June of 19. I think this game alone will probably put him back on the map. Velasquez gets underneath this one, and this one's gone. Another no-doubter out to left. Maybe he's tipping something, but right now the Cubs are teeing off on him here in the fourth. That's Velasquez's 5th home run of the year, 394. Nice piece of hitting there by Velasquez. I don't know about Wisdom or Schwindel. I think those are phantoms right now. If you're counting on them for any type of production, see ya. Yeah, I believe that. He's one of the starters I think could be moved, but you're going to probably have to eat a little bit of money. Swing and a miss for a strike there. That was a very nice piece of hitting. The Phillies fan had it bounce off of his hand, just did not make the catch. All 3 home runs for the Cubs today have been the solo type. Morel had that double in his last at bat. Off-speed pitch finds the zone, and it's 1-2. August 2nd, we'll be doing a live on that day, probably start around 10-ish and go through about an hour or two after the deadline. This one popped up behind home plate. Stays 1-2. But join us here at the Upside. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSM. Yeah, but I never thought Simmons was a good player for probably the last 3 or 4 years now. This one hit hard, and this one off the wall out to left. Schwarber quickly gets it in to second. Morel chased back to first. Wow. He missed a home run by about 5-6 feet. Appreciate you, Zach. Off the bat, you thought it might have had a chance to get out. Well, actually, he missed a home run by about 3 or 4 feet. Nico Horner digging in. Was hit by the pitch in his last at bat. Oh, they got him. Morale is thrown out, caught in a pickle. They knew he was going, and he's the third out of the inning. You get the good and the bad with a player like Morale, it looks like. Yeah, pretty much. I, his last 3 or 4 years with the Angels just weren't good. He played with the Twins last year. He wasn't very good either. There's a reason why a team that was in need of a shortstop let him go. They never thought they were really going to have a chance at Carlos Correa, but yep, that's kind of where we're at. He made one incredible defensive play. Yeah, at his peak, yes, but the offense has just been abysmal, and I don't think he's been worthy of even being on the field because of how bad the offense was. You think back to the days of Nick Ahmed with Arizona. The only reason he was on the field was his defensive abilities. His offense never really came around. But at some point, you're going to need some offense from that position, whether it's a timely hit here and there. Defense is great, but when you need some offense out of that spot, you're going to have to go elsewhere. But as far as like the Garcia over Harrison, Harrison made a good play, not a great play yesterday. And we saw that the ball bounced off his glove earlier in the game. I think Garcia would have been able to get there, but Garcia is the better defender. They're somewhat similar hitters at this point in their career. I don't think that's a bad idea. Garcia, when he gets better, more playing time, that bat plays up. When he doesn't, that bat is around a 220, hitting second baseman anyway. And you can put him pretty much anywhere around the diamond. First pitch here by Smiley misses outside, and it's 1-0. That one finds the zone, and it's 1-1. Yep. 24 OPS plus. Ouch. Is that the worst in the league? It's got to be darn close. Swing and a miss by Veerling, and it's 2-2. Cubs right now sit 20 games below 500. No. In fact, I would probably consider him a trade piece. Hard hit ball, but right to the shortstop. Nice play on to first. First out of the inning. Smiley still perfect through 3 1/3. I think if you try to do anything major, Andrew Vaughn is probably the piece that you're going to have to include in the deal to get something done. That one finds the zone. It's 0-1. A little bit of surprising news out of New York after initial reports indicated they were interested in Andrew Benintendi And then after he was unable to play in the Toronto series, they were said to have been removed themselves from the Andrew Benintendi sweepstakes. Mark Feinsand has come out and said that they're now serious contenders for Andrew Benintendi. I'm wondering if that's just the Royals just talking him up to the New York media or what. That one finishes below the zone, and it's 1-2 now to Schwarber. Benintendi's probably one of the best rental bats on the market this year. But again, his vaccination status is the reason why the Yankees and Red Sox backed out originally. Yeah. Javi Baez. Ouch. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Harrison's been getting a lot of playing time, and he's hitting 233. Garcia with his light hit, who hasn't been playing as much anyway, hitting 203. Not that much difference. And I'd rather have the defense if that's the difference between the two. Well, yeah, he's gotten more consistent playing time. Give that consistent playing time to Larry Garcia, and he's going to be the more consistent one. 3-2 now to Schwarber after he pounds that one into the dirt. The set by Smiley and the pitch. This one right down the middle, popped into shallow center. Morel makes the catch. That's the second out of the inning. Thank you guys for joining us. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe and follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Just stay up to date whenever we do go live again. Let us know which team you'd like us to do the live of next. And we'll keep you guys up to date whenever something or some news happens. We'll make a short for you and keep you up to date what's going on with your team. Not all of us are able to watch ESPN 24 hours a day. And even ESPN doesn't get every single transaction. First pitch swinging, Hoskins rolls over it to third, Wisdom on to first, and that's the end of the fourth. 4-0 Cubs, 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Cubs. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Phillies. It'll be Horner, Wisdom, and Suzuki. I don't like or dislike Adam Engel. I don't think he's an important enough player to like or dislike. He's an important piece for the White Sox just because they don't really have anybody else that fits his type of player. But I think that's more on La Russa and Hahn and the management group there than anything else. Yeah, they're just trying to get him some extra days off. Plus, you never know. They may end up going to him as a pinch hitter late. But Javi Baez, he's been absolutely terrible for the Detroit Tigers, as you mentioned, Clay. That's part of the reason why, when we were talking about it last night during the live, Zach was trying to make the argument that the Royals were 2 years away. Tigers were also on the come up, and I was like, well, sure they are now, but the Javi Baez contract is going to hamstring him. I think that was the worst deal the Tigers could have done. They had a lot of momentum going into the offseason. They Barnhart at catcher, Rodriguez as a starter, Riley Green coming up in the outfield, Torkelson at first base, even though they just demoted him before the All-Star break. Had a lot of things going for them, and then to invest that kind of money in a player who's mercurial at best, has a lot of swing and miss to his game, and if he's not in the right environment, has shown that he's not going to be a winning player. But I like Javi Baez, the player overall. I just think the contract was insane, especially for that length. That'll basically kill anything the Tigers have going for them over the next 5 years. Do I think they'll be better than the Royals this year? Sure. Next year, sure. but they're not going to be even close to a wild card team at any point during that contract of Javi Baez. Nico Horner up there takes ball one. He's 302 average, 6 homers, 30 RBIs, 340 on base percentage. That one misses beneath the zone, and it's 2-0. Nick Nelson loosening with a little bit more urgency now for the Phillies. You see that sometimes, though, Zach, trying to give him some extra time off, especially a day game after a night game. Usually see that mostly with catchers and players who play literally every day. You also see a lot of times on Sundays you get the backups in there, let them get some time. So don't get too upset with Tony on this one. Hard hit ball by Horner. This one out to left. A few steps back for Schwarber. And that's the first out of the inning. Thank you guys for joining us, all 17 of you. Hit that like button. We really appreciate it. I think Abreu needs a little bit of time off. We saw how he was a little bit too anxious to get ahead to make some hard contact early on in the count. But I think that's the whole team. Things just have not gone well with their change in approach, being more aggressive at the plate. 100 walks less than last year at this point of the season tells you all you need to know. That's 100 less base runners. Thank you for the like. Appreciate it. That one finds the zone on Wisdom. The set by Falter and the pitch. This one popped up and out of play. 0-2. Wisdom a 220 average, 17 homers, 47 RBIs, 317 on base percentage. Worked a walk back in the third. Falter set and the pitch. This one a little bit above the zone. Stubbs trying to get the call, but does not. 1-2. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. Turn on those alerts. That way, whenever we do go live, you'll be notified. YouTube only gives you 3 notifications a day, so don't worry. It's not going to be like a million of them. Swing and a miss. Wisdom way out in front. That's 5 strikeouts now for Falter. It's the one thing everybody says about Wisdom. As good of a year as he's having, I still don't see any improvement as far as from the strikeout perspective. He's still only hitting like 220. So he's at best a bench piece for a good team. That doesn't get you a lot in trade, especially an older, aged out prospect like Wisdom. Bounced around the league the last couple of years. Cubs, Rangers, Cardinals. I think he was on the Reds at one point too. Suzuki up next. Came over from the Yomiuri Giants anyway. The 1-0 is lifted foul. Hoskins is actually able to get over there this time. All right. It's only the first time in 5 attempts that he's been able to get over there in time. We saw poor defense in the game last night by both teams. White Sox poor defense allowed the Guardians to get back in it, and then poor defense by the Guardians allowed the White Sox to go back in front late. White Sox have had one of the worst defenses in baseball this year, and that's cost their pitching staff a lot, making them work a little bit extra. It'll be Hall, Castellanos, and Stott for the Phillies in the bottom of the 5th. Appreciate you guys joining us. Got a little bit of a perfect game working for Drew Smiley. Well, I don't know if it looks awful yet. Well, he's had career years the past 3 years. That's the other thing. He admitted earlier this season anyway that the contract was weighing on him, and he wanted to play up to that contract. And whenever you get in your head like that, that can take a long time to get rid of. I'm a Rangers fan, so we saw that with Elvis Andrus and his production when he signed that mega deal with the Rangers. Anyway, he just never lived up to it for the first several years of that deal, and then finally, after year 3, I think he finally got over it. Hopefully, it doesn't take that long for Castellanos to get out of his head with it. And we saw the exchange last night with the reporter. Did you hear the boos? That's a stupid question. Of course you hear the boos. And when he said that, the reporter tried to get all smart with him. Philadelphia media not being too kind anyway to Castellanos so far. And he's not like he's being terrible so far. I mean, just looking at the lineup anyway, or looking at his numbers, 245 on the year. He's 30 years old. The contract is only a 4-year deal, goes through his age 34 year. I mean, he should have solid production all those years. The question is about the defense, of course. You have 3 guys who all should be first base DH types. He has 8 home runs so far this year. Last year he finished with 34. So yes, he is having a little bit of a down year. Hitting about 50, 60 points less than last year as well. If he finishes out the year around 260, that'll be a nice rebound for him. Well, yeah, but you knew that when you signed him to the deal. You can't exactly be upset about the contract whenever you knew it coming in. That's why I questioned the deal at the time, because they have Hoskins there, they have Schwarber, and they're going to have Castellanos out there. Now they have Derek Hall up at the big league level. Another guy that can only play one position. I think Castellanos should have gone to a team that could have moved him to first base after a year. Here's Castellanos anyway, digging in. Swings at that pitch down in the dirt, and it's 0-1. And see, he's trying to make something happen every time he goes up to the plate instead of waiting for it to come to him. But there's been no better hitter over the past 2.5 years in the league than Nick Castellanos. That one misses up high, and it's 1-1. Fastball in the inside corner, fouled away by Castellanos, and it's 1-2. The pitch, another off-speed pitch below the zone. Castellanos chases, and that's the 4th strikeout for Drew Smiley. Just checking in on his numbers over the last 7 games for Castellanos. He's 4 for his last 25 with a 160 batting average. Certainly struggled over the last month. Hitless in his last 3 games anyway. Morel tries to make a nice play on that one, and unfortunately is not able to do so. First hit of the game here for the Phillies. Nice ball served out into left center. Morel tried to make a dive. Oh, he overdove that one, looking at it a second time. Not a good decision by Morel. Took a poor jump at it anyway. And the no-hitter is over for Smiley. He definitely knew that one. Stott gets the double. Poorly timed jump there. A couple years in the league, maybe he makes a better play on that ball. But as it stands, that's the first base runner of the game for the Phillies as the cutter misses. That one well upstairs. Morale just missing that one. Hard hit into left. This one gets down. Will the run score? Let's see. Throw to the plate is late. Ball looks like will advance to second on the play, I think. Nope, they kept him at first. Stott scores, and this shutout is over as well. Little bit of a rally here, 2-out rally for the Phillies. Little bleeder through the third base side of second. Velasquez made a strong throw, but it was up the line, and Stott was easily able to get in there and score. 4-1. Gregorius digging in, takes the first pitch and pops it straight up over home plate. And Yan Gomes makes the catch for the third out of the inning. For the Cubs, they'll have Happ, Schwindel, and Gomes. Gomes with 2 home runs already on the day. We'll see if he can hit a third. But 4-1 Cubs after 5. Couple injury news and notes coming out right now. That's about it. No big news happening yet today. Probably around 3, 4 o'clock, we might see a lot more trade chatter as teams really try to finalize their trade boards, see what it's going to cost to go get certain players. Teams are going to be sending out a lot of scouts to different minor league camps or minor league teams right now, seeing what they can do to improve their club. Oakland A's have done a nice job restocking their farm system yet again. Shea Langeliers winning the MVP in the Futures game. He was part of that trade for Matt Olson, along with Christian Passe and 2 others. Nelson is on here for the Phillies in the top of the 6th in 25 games as a 4.0 ERA, 129 whip, 44 strikeouts, and 21 walks. Tells you he struggles with command a little bit right there. We'll see if he can pick things up here today. Carlos Ruiz jersey out in the stands today. It's kind of cool. Showing reverence for the Phillies days of old. Phillies bullpen earlier in the year had a 4.22 ERA. Since June, they have a 2.92 ERA. Really improved over there. We'll see how they do today. Swing and a miss a half as he flips around to the left side with the righty on the mound. 278 average, 9 homers, 44 RBIs, and a 365 on base percentage. Oh, and 2 now. Nelson working quickly. -6 now in Philly. Humidity dropping down to about 30% now. Happ gets a nice hard hit ball, serves this one out into right in front of Castellanos. And he's on with no outs here. Maybe if they get a third lightning bolt out of the bat of Yan Gomes, it won't be of the solo variety. A rarity nowadays for the Cubs. It'll be Schwindel due next. The set by Nelson. And the pitch. Nice fastball right down the middle. They're calling it a slider. I didn't see any slide motion to that pitch. Schwindel 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts, a 233 average, 8 homers, 35 RBIs on the year. The set and the pitch. This one lifted out into center. Back a few steps anyway. Is Veerling, tosses it back in. Happ goes back to first, and we have one away. Yan Gomes due next. He does have a couple of solo shots today. Really restoring his value as a backup catcher. After just today's performance alone, I expect him to be dealt at the deadline to somebody in need of some veteran catching help. Righty versus righty here. Nelson flips back over to first. Happ is back in there safely. The pitch up and in, almost hits Gomes in the shoulder. Today will be the Hall of Fame induction ceremony that's just about to get underway. You can catch that on MLB Network. 2-0 now to Gomes. Those of you who are huge baseball fans like I am, a lot of acrimony this turn went around as Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens were not inducted into the Hall of Fame in their final year of eligibility on the ballot. Of course, they can still get in via the Veterans Committee, but they did not get in by the vote. David Ortiz will join Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Olivo, Bud Fowler, and Buck O'Neill for enshrinement into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Nelson finds the zone with that pitch, and it goes to 3-1. The pitch, lifted foul and out of play, and it's 3-2. Curt Schilling, also in his final year of eligibility, did not make the Hall of Fame either. He told basically voters over the last year or so not to vote for him after not getting in after year 8. He was not happy that he was not being voted in because of his comments after his playing career. Now, whether or not you agree with those comments or not, whether you find them disgusting or not, there is a character clause in that that you need to take into account whenever you're voting for the Hall of Fame. Oh, nice hit up the middle by Gomes off the glove of Stott. Gregorius is able to make the play, though, and catch it in midair and flip it on to first to at least get the out there. Advancing to second, though, is Ian Happ. 2 down. That one went right over the mound, off the wrist of Stott. Gregorius still somehow made a play. That was a great play by Gregorius, kind of a spin jump catch. And then it was finished out the spin, getting it on to first. Nelson appreciating the defense. It goes as a fielder's choice, 4-6-3, put out. Swing and a miss by Boat. He's been confused a little bit at the plate today, struck out a couple of times. Unable to lay off the breaking ball. The set by Nelson and the pitch. Right down Broadway, and it's 0-2. Don't know what Boat's looking for. He looks thoroughly confused all the way around. Nelson set. That one finishes in the dirt, low and away. 1-2. Boat hitting .262 on the year, a home run, 3 RBIs. Another off-speed pitch, low and away, well outside the zone, but Boat unable to lay off yet again and strikes out for the 3rd time of the day. That's the end of this 6th for the Cubs. To the bottom half we go. It'll be Stubbs, Vierling, and Schwarber. As I was mentioning, that Hall of Fame ceremony just about to kick off anyway. Beautiful day out there in Cooperstown. Big crowd out there expected. You guys tell me, what do you think of Bonds, Clemens, and Schilling not getting in? Are you thumbs up on all 3 players? Are you thumbs down on all 3 players? You kind of split between them? If you're just voting based on performance, of course all 3 are in. If you're just voting based off of character clause, none of them are getting in my opinion. If you're trying to find a balance between the 2, that's where the debate lies. Now, there's an argument to be made that Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before steroids were introduced into him. It's said that after the Summer of Love in 1998 between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds looked at him and said, hey, they're getting all the pub. I'm 3rd, 4th on the list in home runs, and yet I'm getting 0 of the attention. And so that's when he supposedly started bulking up. Do I believe there's some truth to that? Yes. Do I believe that he wasn't already inclined to doing something like that beforehand anyway? No. But I don't see any reason why he wouldn't have been either. Was he a great player before the real change in his body took place from the outside looking in? Yes. He was a fantastic player, a great defender, great speed. And you could argue that he was on track to be a Hall of Famer anyway. But on track does not mean the same thing as in the Hall of Fame. For Roger Clemens, who was never really a great pitcher until his time came with the New York Yankees. He just had a lot of headlines really come his way there, really became the Rocket. Of course, he had some good years before that with the Blue Jays and Red Sox, but most everybody will remember him from his time with the New York Yankees. His body did change, especially at the end of his career when he went on to Houston. I forget how many Cy Youngs he ended up winning. But there is no telling the story of baseball without either one of those players. Just look at the way the game has changed since then. Strike one here to Stubbs. Time is requested. But can you really tell the story of baseball over the last 25 years without telling them about Roger Clemens or Barry Bonds? I don't think you can. Now, does that mean you have to honor them by inducting them into the Hall of Fame? In my opinion, the way they were revered during their time, and whether or not you believe it's on the reporters or not for reporting on the problems, or whether you believe it's the league for allowing it to happen, the fact is they were allowed to play and they performed when they played. And now you're going to go back and say, hey, we fucked up, so now we got to fix it going forward? I don't know. Pardon my French. The 1-2 here to Stubbs. Popped up in the air. Fastball above the zone. Coming in is, oh no. Boat lost it in the sun and it drops straight down in the infield. Boat just can't catch a break. He's having a terrible day both in the field and at the plate. 3 strikeouts and loses that ball in the sun. I don't know. If I'm the Cubs, David Ross, I just look at him and say, all right, your day's over. Come on. I mean, he was hollering for help at the very last second, but come on, man. Veerling up there next. Ouch. That's a tough pitch to call a strike there for Veerling. That one looked below the zone. Umpire looks at him like, yeah, that was at the strike zone, or was in the strike zone, but come on, man. We both know that wasn't there. Time requested by Veerling. But you guys tell me, Bond's a Hall of Famer? Yes, no? Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Got to believe that one was influenced by the strike call of the last pitch. Clemens, yes, no? As for Schilling's case, everybody remembers the postseason greatness that he had with the Red Sox, helping them to end the curse. Bloody sock game. Got to remember this time with Arizona Diamondbacks when they went up against the Yankees in 0-1. Both he and Randy Johnson just went back and forth. Hard hit fly ball out into right. Suzuki is there. Makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning. Schwarber will be next. Stubbs chased back to first anyway. Very bright day right now, apparently, in Philadelphia. Schwarber 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. Does have 30 home runs on the year, hitting 206. That one finishes below the zone, and it's 1-0. He's second in the league in terms of home runs. Aaron Judge in first with 36. Yordan Alvarez and Austin Riley tied for third with 28. The pitch just outside, and it's 2-0. He sprays the ball a little bit all over the field. Mainly a pull hitter, though. 3 of his home runs going to left center or left. The pitch. Nice curveball there. That one was a little higher than the one to Veerling and doesn't get the call. 3-0. Same pitch, but with a fastball this time, and gets the call, and it's a strike. The pitch. Curveball again, up and in. Popped up in the air behind home plate. Yan Gomes giving it a look, and oh no, he dropped it off of his glove. Whoops. Looks like he just, I want to look at this replay again. Did it hit the back of his glove, or what happened? I mean, he got there in plenty of time. He kind of reached over. In and out of the webbing. Ouch. 3-2, though. That'll go as an error on the catcher. The pitch. Little tapper out to second. The shift is on. That's the second out of the inning. However, Stubbs gets all the way over to third because nobody was covering third base with the shift on. Downside of working with a shift, you're going to give up some funky plays like that. However, there are 2 outs. Stubbs goes from first to third on a tapper to second base. Nobody was within 90 feet of third base. On that ball, Wisdom should have broke for third. He did not. Instead, he and the shortstop broke for second. And then basically it was a stride for stride run to third. Why not take the extra base anyway there if you're Stubbs? Check swing there by Hoskins. It does not does not go around according to the first base umpire, and it's 1-0. He's had some tough calls over there. 240 average. Stubbs bluffs a move home. Swing and a miss there, and it's 1-1. The pitch upstairs, and it's 2-1. Smiley starting to work a little bit harder here in the 6th. Ran into some trouble in the 5th anyway. Up to 81 pitches. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back out for the 7th. This one a hard hit ball over the glove anyway of the shortstop, and that'll make it 4-2. Cubs in front. Nice piece of hitting by Hoskins, but that was a hard hit smash. The shortstop just was unable to flag down. Tough break for the Cubs. Phillies chipping away at that Cubs lead. This one looks like he just didn't get over there in time. I mean, he had time to get there. He just didn't get in front of it. Tried to make a kind of a whirling dervish backhand attempt to try to stop it. We'll have a mound visit here. 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Cubs bullpen is indeed loosening. Just in case this gets a little bit more out of hand. It'll be Derek Hall followed by Nick Castellanos. Should Hall reach. Derek Hall has struck out and grounded out today, hitting .269. First pitch popped up. Yan Gomes is there. This time squeezes it. That's the third out of the inning. 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Cubs. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Phillies. And we go to the 7th. It'll be Velazquez, Morale, and Horner. Some news out of the New York Mets. Apparently, they are still seeking another bat. Even after acquiring Daniel Vogelbach, they are scouting the Baltimore Orioles for Trey Mancini, possibly. Really trying to bulk up that designated hitter spot. Pete Alonso, of course, is their first baseman. Locked down that position pretty well. I think he leads the league in RBIs, is what we heard last night anyway. Not sure if he still does after last night, but in either event, I think he had 78 RBIs so far this year. They are set at first base. So you got to imagine most of those at-bats for him would come at DH or outfield. One name to keep an eye on during the trade deadline season is Michael Conforto. He is still a free agent. Uh-oh. So you remember how the Red Sox lost 28-5 the other night? It's the first inning. They're already down 5-0. The Blue Jays are crushing them already. Will they break 28 runs? I don't think so, but things are not looking good for the Red Sox right now. Losing 28-5 the other night and now down 5-0, and it's still not even out of the first inning, I believe. Nick Nelson is on for his second inning of work. Velazquez is up there. Hit a home run in his last at bat. Broken bat tapper. Nelson jogs over to first, flips it on to Hoskins, and records the first out of the inning. That bat broke all the way down at the handle. Nice piece of pitching there by Nelson. Always, always feel good as a pitcher, breaking that batter's bat. You got to think if the Red Sox are going to make a push for the postseason, seeing how their pitching staff has performed over the past week or so, they're going to be looking for pitching. Cardinals are said to be looking for pitching. Brewers are said to be looking for pitching. Mets before the season were. White Sox we saw last night need pitching. The problem is there's not a lot of good pitchers on the market right now. So if you have a marginal starter, innings eater type, you're going to get paid a little bit more handsomely than you would in other years. Jose Quintana, rumored to be going back to the White Sox. White Sox have been kicking the tires pretty heavily, apparently, on him over the past few days. Morale up there now, fouls this one back, and it's 2-1. The trade deadline chatter certainly heating up even during the Hall of Fame ceremony. Usually teams try to respect the Hall of Fame as much as they can and wait until after the Hall of Fame enshrinement is done. The 2-1 pitch. Well upstairs. 3-1. Missed with that 96-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Morale's been involved in a lot of action in this game. He's 2 for 3 today. Had that RBI double earlier. The pitch, fastball in the inner half of the plate, fouled back by Morel, and it'll go full 3-2. Nelson up to 21 pitches now in his second inning of work. If you're just joining us, hit that like button and the subscribe. We really appreciate you guys joining us. You have no idea how much having those two things happen matters to us. Trying to reach 400 by the end of the month. Let's see if we can get there. That pitch is kind of a little pop-up there, and that one will be ball 4. Looks like it slipped out of Nelson's hand a little bit. A 1-out walk here. Puts a little speed on the base paths in front of Horner, Wisdom, and Suzuki. The set by Nelson and the pitch just off the outside corner, and it's 1-0. Big Papi getting some thunderous applause. As you might expect, he was a fan favorite, not just of the Red Sox, but of basically the entire baseball world. Watching him in his early days with the Twins, I enjoyed him playing there. He wasn't nearly the player he was with the Red Sox, though. This one lashed down the first base line into the seats, and it's 1-1. Horner hitting .301 with the .766 OPS with 6 home runs. Back in there with the dive is Morel on that pickoff attempt. Cubs in front here, 4-2. Top of the 7th. 2 home runs in the game for Yan Gomes. Velasquez hit another one for the Cubs. That one right at the bottom of the zone. Getting the call there is Nelson, and it's 1-2. For the in the bottom of the 5th, the Phillies got on the scoreboard on an Alec Boehm single. And then in the 6th, Rhys Hoskins, another single, scored Garrett Stubbs anyway from 3rd. That one misses low and away. But advancing to 2nd on, I'm going to call it a pass ball there, is Morel. Count goes to 2-2. Runner advancing into scoring position. Stubbs upset with himself on that one. He should have had that. Morel saw it hit the dirt and instantly took off, and he already had a big lead. They're calling it a wild pitch, but I don't know about that. Morel is having a good year for the Cubs, though. He's in the 93rd percentile in barrel rate and speed, sprint speed anyway. That's a very good combination for a young player. The 2-2 to Horner. Well outside, but Horner unable to lay off. And that's the 2nd strikeout of the game for Nelson. 2 away here in the top of the 7th. It'll be up to Patrick Wisdom to get something done. That off-speed pitch making Horner chase on it. Swing and a miss by Wisdom. Fastball up and in. The Field of Dreams game is coming up on the 11th between the Cubs and Reds. With the Hall of Fame being today, reminds me of all the other opportunities baseball has going forward. Maybe they could do something at Doubleday Field with the Hall of Fame. Kind of an event, once a year type of thing. clear out the schedule for Sunday Night Baseball and have the game actually be played at Doubleday Field. That would be fantastic. Of course, they'd have to retrofit it a little bit, but they had to do the same thing in Iowa, where they didn't even have a baseball field. Hard hit ball, but right to Bohm, flips it on to first, and that's the end of the inning. It'll be Castellanos, Stott, and Bohm in the bottom of the 7th here for the Phillies. See if they can get something going. That's kind of the next step I think baseball could do to try to create more of an event type of out of their calendar anyway. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. Gained about 95 of you guys now over the past 3 weeks. See if we can get that our total number over 400 by the end of the week, or end of the month anyway, which will be a week anyway. So thank you guys. Really appreciate you. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Appreciate you guys joining us. Checking in on some of the other scores. It's the bottom of the first now. Toronto did score 5 in the first against Boston. Still 5-0. Angels are actually on top of the Braves for once, 5-0. Marlins and Pirates are scoreless. Yankees and Orioles scoreless. Cardinals and Reds also scoreless. Twins get 3 in the top half of the first. Lead the Tigers 3-0. A few other games also about to get underway. Rays and Royals. Guardians and White Sox. Brewers and Rockies. And as I mentioned, the nightcap tonight we'll be doing the Padres and Mets. No, YouTube is not my job. I'm trying to make it my job. That's why I'm trying to get as many subscribers as I can. But it takes a lot to get there. So a little over a third of the way to the amount to actually get monetized, and then from there you try to build from there. But they don't monetize you though until you get 1,000 subscribers. So I still got to do a 9 to 5. But to make it my job, first I have to get to the monetized level. Then you can do, they give you ad money and stuff like that. Sports, I think, you usually average around like 8 cents a view, something like that. But as far as like, you can also have sponsorships and that kind of thing at that point. They have a whole marketplace that you can do it. But the more subscribers I get, the more content I can put out. Going to try to do a podcast at some point here soon. Going to set that up. Haven't done much research into Patreon as well. Thinking about doing something of that nature. Try to do a weekly type thing on all 4 of the major sports. Eventually try to diversify the page into NHL, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. No, I don't work in sports. That was always my dream job, though. I wanted to be the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks or the Texas Rangers or the Dallas Stars, something like that. And yes, I'm Texas-based, but that's kind of was the dream. Then I realized, of course, I didn't throw 99 miles an hour fastball. I couldn't dunk like LeBron. Couldn't throw a football like Tom Brady. So I thought front office might be the option. Then I realized I don't exactly have an MBA from Harvard. And then a friend of mine who does a YouTube channel, he was starting to get gain some ground anyway. He does a tech YouTube channel, Zachary Livingston, if you want to check him out. But he talked to me a little bit about what he's been doing. He started it like 5 years ago, but didn't really pay attention to it for about 4 years. And then he looked at his YouTube page one more time, and he noticed he had gained like 200 subscribers since the last time he really looked. And now he's starting to do that a lot more. No, I did the college thing for a little while, but it didn't agree with me. I didn't realize how burnt out I was when I finally hit college. No, but like you need to have some type of in the game. You got to start somewhere as a scout. I thought about doing the scouting route. Nice base hit, inside out swing by Castellanos. Drives that one into right, beating the shift. But like there's a camp out in Arizona that you can go to. You pay like $600. They put you up in a hotel. You train for about 3-4 weeks at that course anyway, and you learn from actual baseball scouts. Torrey Hunter, I think, was one of the instructors for it. It was kind of cool, but I didn't have the chance to be able to do something like that. As I still have to work my 9 to 5 job, and I wasn't getting enough savings anyway to be able to be gone from work for a whole month, especially after having my eyesight problems when I was younger. That basically killed any extra savings I had. But hearing what he was doing with his YouTube channel, I thought I'd give it a try. And we started out doing long videos, about 10-minute long videos about what would happen or why Aaron Rodgers should be traded to Cleveland or why Russell Wilson should be traded to Denver, stuff like that. And created an intro and everything. And then we liked the traction that we were getting with that. But the traction that we were getting with short videos has really kind of taken over since the NBA trade deadline. Just the sheer number of views that we get from that, the number of people that interact with our videos on those was a lot higher than those 10-minute long videos. And I know you guys work and you don't have time to watch a 10-minute long video. You don't have time to sit there and wait for ESPN to air your team on their site. So if you follow us here at the Upside, here on YouTube or on Twitter, nice tapper back to the mound, flipped onto second, onto first, records the double play. Cubs turning that one nicely. But we noticed if you're able to watch the short 1-minute video or even just 30 seconds of it, hit the like, stuff like that. It works very well for us here at the Upside, and it gets you guys the information you're wanting to know a lot quicker. So that's kind of the format we've gone with. Now, if the training camp getting back underway for the NFL season, we'll probably put out a few more of those long videos, get back into that. But we also do a lot of live streams, not both of, but of the NBA, of NHL. We've done a few of those. We did a lot of baseball since that's kind of the only sport on right now. We're trying to do at least 5 a week. Oh, yeah, I like my job, but my passion has always been sports, stuff like that. So being able to, sports was very difficult to talk about where I live anyway. Basically, you have a bunch of Cowboys fans who are, don't get me wrong, I'm a Cowboys fan, but like there's the Cowboy fan that are realistic, and then there's the Cowboy fan that just calls into the radio station and doesn't understand why they don't win every single Super Bowl, why they don't get a touchdown on every single play. There's a lot of that type around here as well. So, I would love to. I would love to. If I can get this to where I want it to go, that will happen. And then I can put out a lot more videos, diversify the channel. Like I said, I want to break it up into an NHL page, a football page, an NFL, an NHL, an MLB, and an NBA page, and then have each team under each one of those sports have their own page as well. That's a lot of content to put out. Hard hit ball into right, fielded by Suzuki on the run, and will hold him to a single. I don't live in Dallas, about 2 hours away. Originally from South Dakota, so got a lot of loyalty to teams from Minnesota as well. Vikings, Twins, Timberwolves, stuff like that. I try not to hide my background anyway when it comes to those teams. You see how announcers on the national level try to hold off their biases, and it still shows through, but try to be a little bit more honest about mine. No. I'm 2 hours east of Dallas. Well, hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere in there. Depending on how fast you are with the lead foot. First pitch swinging again for Gregorius, pops it into shallow center. Morales there on the light jog, makes the catch. And that's the end of the inning, 4-2. 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Cubs. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Phillies. To the 8th we go. Suzuki, Happ, and Schwindel due up. But give us a like, give us a follow on Twitter at UpsideSN, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube if you haven't already. While we wait for the 8th to get underway, let's just check in on a few of the other scores. Boston has at least gotten on the board now. It's 5-1, top of the second. All the other games still remain scoreless. That just got underway. Scott Efrost did the pitching for the Cubs that inning. Came in and worked the scoreless 7th anyway. He could be a piece that's moved around the deadline possibly, as the Cubs are going to have to sell some of their pieces. Bullpen is always in demand. Anybody who's got any type of success out there. Corey Knebel comes on for the Phillies. 2.95 ERA on the year. Just getting out of commercial break they are. Next week it'll be the Tigers and Phillies in the early window on Peacock. They're usually the first one. Oh, the trophies? Oh, those were from high school anyway. Those were speech and debate, state or national championship, stuff like that. No, I didn't win the nationals, but winning tournaments left and right. I was pretty good back then. That's why I'm not too worried about public speaking or anything like that. 31. But yeah. Corey Knebel on the year, 38 games, 12 saves, 2.95 ERA, 36 and 2/3 innings pitched. The one problem he has had issues with is control. That's why you see that strikeout to walk rate, 34 strikeouts to 24 walks. First pitch here, popped up. Hoskins giving it another look, and this one's into the seats. 0-1. Suzuki 0 for 3 on the day. The pitch. Nice curveball there. Looked a little bit high, but somehow got down in time to be called a strike. And it's 0-2. Phillies trying to keep it a 2-run game here for the bottom of the 8th. They have scored the last 2 runs of the game. Well, nice line drive there by Suzuki, but right at Castellanos. Good hard hit ball, though. 1 away here in the 8th. As we're mentioning, the trade deadline is coming up. We already talked a little bit about Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Jose Quintana, Wilson Contreras, all of which are expected to be to varying levels on the block. Ian Happ, we mentioned as well as being one of the trade pieces the Cubs could use at the deadline. Batting from the left side here, pops up the first pitch out of play, and it's 0-1. Other names to kind of keep an eye on. Martin Perez of the Texas Rangers having a great year for them, but there's talk that they might extend him. However, the Rangers reporters say they're not going to talk about it until after the deadline so the team can focus on, the pieces that they do have to move. Pieces like Matt Moore. The best left-handed reliever on the market is going to be Matt Moore. Competition will be stiff for him. The Yankees are expected to be interested after losing Michael King for the rest of the year due to injury the other night anyway, after taking a line drive off the elbow. Happ goes the opposite way of the shift anyway, but right to the shortstop spot. fielded, and he is out at first base. 2 away. Other names to look at. We mentioned Andrew Benintendi. The Yankees were originally in and then out, and now apparently they're back in again. Not sure how much truth there is to that because, again, he's going to miss a lot of time when they go up to face Toronto. And if they have a playoff series against Toronto, he's not going to be able to play in the games in Toronto. Yankees, of course, have Joey Gallo that they have to move. He has just not worked in New York. A team that's willing to give him a middling prospect, somebody in their 20 range, just one prospect, might get it done. But the Yankees are said to be trying to recoup some of their value that they traded away in that deal. They ain't going to be able to get as much talent as they gave away. 3 of the 4 pieces that they traded to the Rangers are all in the majors. Gregorius Fields flips on to first, and that's the end of the inning as Schwindel gets jammed on that one. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Stubbs, Vierling, and Schwarber. Would I go back to school for sports broadcasting? Probably not. Reason being is because with sports broadcasting, there's so many different ways to get into it nowadays. Would it help from like a graphics perspective or something like that? Sure. But like I mentioned, I have the friend I have, Zachary Livingston, who does the tech channel here on YouTube. Give him a follow. But he would be very good at handling most of the stuff that I need to here on YouTube. I really want to make this YouTube thing grow. I don't really want to change and do something else. I want to make this thing work and see if I can get it to eventually work for me and make some money, eventually quit the job and do this every day, spend more time at home with the family, yet still put out a ton more content for you guys. Bring on a few other people to put out more content, as there would be, like 30 different channels for 30 different teams, or for all 30 teams in the MLB, and then a channel for each team in hockey and football and in basketball, and then still have our main channel. That's kind of the ultimate goal, have a whole network built out of it. Right? We've done a nice job so far over the past month and a half of really well, I wouldn't say month and a half, maybe 2 months now of really doing the videos. I really started getting back into it again on the 27th after changing housing anyway, but I'll be here for a very long time. Well, you got to start somewhere. I'm not expecting to quit the job anytime soon. Don't get me wrong. Just getting over 1,000 by, say, November is kind of my goal. That's very realistic. We've gained almost 95, I think, in the last 28 days. The only question will be if I'm able to get enough subscribers for that. However, the more videos I do, the more subscribers I gain, I've noticed. So more shorts that I put out, the greater consistency that I gain subscribers. So if you guys have your own YouTube channel, remember that. Keep it consistent. Post regularly. When you don't post regularly, that's when your views drop off. That's when your subscribers are tough to gain again. Because it doesn't just come back the second you put out one video. It takes about a week for those kind of results to really start to show again. Chris Martin coming on here, played with the Braves previously, the Rangers. Good 8th inning guy. Pitching the 8th inning guy. He's the 8th inning guy here for the Cubs. Rivas is in the game for Boat at second base. I think for Boat. Let me double check. Nope, he's at first base for Swindell. Made it look like he was at second. Oh, well. First pitch fouled away here by Garrett Stubbs. Down the third base line. The more subscribers we get, the more videos we can put out, the greater we can build this channel up. Stubbs hitting .270 now in the year, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, .333 OPS. Had a single and scored a run in the 6th. That one misses up and in. 1-1. The trade deadline coming up. We'll be posting a lot of trade deadline related videos. Training camps after that. We'll get into NFL pretty heavy after the trade deadline. Hard hit ball by Stubbs. Out into right. Looking up is Suzuki, and that one's gone. It's now a 4-3 game. Stubbs is pumped up, stares down the pitcher as he circles the bases. Now celebrates with his teammates looking back in at the dugout. Chris Martin giving up the long ball there. It's now 4-3. It's a one-run game here in the 8th. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. Hit that like button. If you were wondering why not pinch hit with JT Realmuto, that's why. Vierling is up there next. Nice fastball there, 92 at the top of the zone. 0-1. Looks like Martin just elevated that fastball a little bit too much from where they were wanting it to go. Stubbs making him pay. That one misses up high, and it's 1-1. Four-3 Cubs here in the bottom of the 8th. Garrett Stubbs, the 9-hole hitter of the Phillies, just hit a solo home run to get him within 1 run. Thanks for joining us, Benny. The pitch inside and off the plate, but Vierling unable to make contact with that off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. Schwarber to follow. He could tie it with one swing, but if they can get Vierling on, one swing could really change this game. The pitch. Hard hit ball out to right, but this one goes foul. About 12 rows back. If he's able to keep that one fair, that might have been close to getting out. 1-2, though, is the count. After Vierling, it will be Schwarber, followed by Hoskins, and then Derek Hall. Martin working quickly. Set, and the pitch at the bottom of the zone, just beneath the knees. 2-2. Philippines. Wow. I'm guessing you don't get too many Phillies fans or Phillies games in the Philippines anyway. Unless, of course, you pay for MLB.TV or whatever. Or Peacock, like right now. Little tapper out to second, on to first. Rivas makes the play. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Appreciate you joining us, though, Benny. Glad we could help out, bring you the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber due up next. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Does have 30 home runs on the year. Got to always be wary of that. That one misses location badly, but is still able to be find the zone anyway, and it's 0-1. They were trying to throw that one outside, and this one traveled all the way back towards the inner half of the plate at the very top of the zone. Just scraping the top of the zone to get the strike call. Martin set, and the pitch. Off the outside corner. 1-1. Schwarber has 22 of his 30 home runs off of righties, hitting .213 off of righties. The pitch. A little bit of off-speed pitch right at the top of the zone, and it's 1-2. Looks like Martin's living at the top of the zone right now. Got to worry about that with a home run hitting team. You make one mistake in the wrong spot, and that one's gone. We just saw that with Stubbs. Martin ready, and the pitch. Right on the outside corner. Beautiful paint right there. Schwarber just shakes his head in disgust, has a few words for the home plate umpire. And there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Cubs are almost through it after giving up the leadoff home run here. Looking at the overhead cam of that, that was definitely over the plate. Just beneath the belt anyway. If you're just joining us anyway, it's 4-3, Cubs in front, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Kyle Schwarber just struck out. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Rhys Hoskins due up next, way out in front on that cutter, and it's 0-1. Aaron Judge just added to his major league leading home runs lead right now. Hits his 37th home run, 456 feet. Schwarber again second at 30. Martin set, and the pitch. Off the outside corner, 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and it goes 1-1. Hoskins had that RBI single back in the 6th, hitting .242, 19 homers, 45 RBIs. Martin set, and the pitch. Again, misses location badly, but this one above the zone, and it's 2-1. Just looks like he's just losing his release point just a little bit on that breaking ball. Rhys Hoskins, the most patient hitter in all of Major League Baseball, with the most pitches seen per plate appearance at 4.36. He's willing to wait for his pitch. And there it is, a hard hit ball into left, and it gets down. Nice backhand stab at it to keep it in front of him by Velazquez. A 2-out base hit by Hoskins. Keeps the rally alive for the Phillies. Nice piece of hitting there. Two outs, runner on first, 4-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. Chris Martin has already given up a leadoff home run. There will be a mound visit here with Derek Hall due up, followed by Nick Castellanos. Going through the heart of that order. Brault is loosening along with Givens out in the bullpen for the Cubs. You imagine if Hall reaches, there will be a pitching change. Of course, this could be more about giving them time to loosen up as well, and that could have been it for Chris Martin, as he's struggled with location so far. Thank you guys for joining us while we wait for this mound visit to end. Cubs have a couple of home runs today from Yan Gomes, another one from Velazquez, and scratched across another run as well. Phillies, the only home run by Garrett Stubbs here in the 8th. Were able to plate 2 other runs earlier in the game. Manufactured some runs. Derek Hall due up. He's 0 for 3 on the day, a strikeout and a ground out and a pop out. This one grounded off his foot, and it's 0-1. We already talked a little bit about the Hall of Fame inductions anyway. Thanks for joining us, Derpy. Spoke a little bit about the Big Poppy anyway. Mentioned how the big 3 that did not get in, of course, in their final year of eligibility, Clemens, Bonds, and Schilling. Congratulated the entire field that did get in. Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Bud Fowler, and Buck O'Neill. Nah, I don't have a boyfriend. I got a girlfriend. Soon to be wife anyway, hopefully. But he just posts on his YouTube channel. Eventually, we'll do a collab because he's a really big fan of Apple, pretty much anything Apple, and they picked up the Sunday Ticket anyway, and they picked up some baseball games this year. So we figured we could do a video of kind of a crossover between the two. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to kind of give him some pub on his channel. So if you haven't already followed me, if you want to follow him as well. 1-2 pitch here to Derek Hall. Martin trying to get out of it. Well outside, and it goes to 2-2. No. He's just a friend. Yeah. They didn't deserve it. I thought so as well, but it's not necessarily about the honor itself. It's more about the impact on the game, and I don't think you can tell the story of baseball without having those three in there. I mean, the only reason why Schilling isn't in there is because of everything afterward. Little bouncer in there, and it goes full 3-2. She helps me behind the scenes. She helps share the videos. She helps me get the videos set up. Some of the captions I write as well. She does all that kind of stuff. So when you hear me say we, that's the we I'm usually talking about. She deserves a lot of credit for all the hard work she does to help me keep with as many hours as I pull in my 9-to-5 job, and then coming home and streaming for another 3 hours. She puts up with a lot, so very thankful for her. The 3-2 to Hall. On the outside corner, beautiful pitch by Martin. Hall can't believe it. Well, I'm not answering that. I think everybody should has their own opinions as to whether or not somebody's hot or not. But, of course, I think she's amazing. That's the third out of the inning. The Phillies' threat is over. With that strikeout there, we go to the ninth. Cubs in front 4-3. Phillies turning it to a 1-run deficit on that Garrett Stubbs home run. Thank you guys for joining us. Got to think on the Veterans Committee. They're going to get some love on that with Barry Bonds, Clemens, or Schilling. I think eventually one, if not all three, get in through Veterans Committees at some point. I think the writers basically punished them and themselves for not recognizing what was going on, not asking the right questions for so long, letting steroids to take hold of baseball anyway, destroying the game of numbers. Before the steroid era, everybody respected the numbers in baseball. That was kind of what everybody turned to. Oh, this player has so many home runs. This player has so many hits. This player has so many Cy Youngs. And it was revered. Nowadays, after the steroid era, all those numbers are at least somewhat meaningless now because of all of those things going on. Kind of cast a not so friendly light on those numbers. Were they clean? Were they not clean when they did that? Really changed the way fans celebrated those numbers as well. There's no real way to tell if anybody was clean or not. I mean, it's now almost 20 years, a little bit past 20 years of the summer of love between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. Like in 2009, when A-Rod was suspended for the year because of his usage, or at least rumored usage, and the whole, I'm trying to remember the name of the clinic, that scandal anyway. David Ortiz only had his name pop up in a field test, field study as a positive, but there was never any real proof behind it. Major League Baseball has since come out in defense of Big Papi, saying don't or ignore that. The reporting on that wasn't quite accurate. But he is an all-time clutch player. Just because you have all the muscle in all the world to knock it over the fence doesn't mean that you're instantly going to be a great player. There's a million strong dudes in the world. Not all of them can turn around a 100-mile-an-hour fastball or hit a curveball 400 feet. Yuri's Familia has come out. Yan Gomes is due up. Has 2 home runs, a couple of solo shots earlier today. ball one to Jan Gomes, who's hitting 222, 5 homers, 14 RBIs, and a 238 on base percentage. Possibly. I can't remember. There was some. I'm trying to remember the clinic name. It was like, I want to say Balco or something like that. That pitch misses well up and in. Up at the face of Jan Gomes. After his performance today, I expect Jan Gomes to be traded by the Cubs just based on this one game alone, honestly. Question with him over the last couple of years has been health and production. Seems to be healthy right now. Team might be willing to part with their number 30 prospect, and a hard hit ball right at Didi Gregorius. Barely had to flinch to make that catch. One away. Gomes hitting the ball pretty hard. Teams in need of catching could use a guy like Jan Gomes as their backup catcher. Maybe the Mets would be interested in somebody like him, a low-cost acquisition to help build their lineup a little bit better. Ortega coming on here as a pinch hitter. One away here in the top of the ninth. Rafael Ortega hitting 232, 675 OPS with 4 home runs. First pitch here, grounds to first, flips on to Familia, and Ortega is retired on 1 pitch. 2 away here in the top of the ninth. Cubs in front 4-3. Cubs are definitely going to be a seller at the deadline. A couple of odds and ends they could trade, but of course the biggest piece they have is Wilson Contreras. He will probably be moved at the deadline. Another catcher needy team could use him. Cubs have 2 catchers they can move. Velazquez, who's hit a home run earlier today, is due up next. First pitch by Familia misses low and away, and it's 1-0. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you haven't subscribed to us already, please do so. Hit that like button. It really matters a lot to us. I think we've gained like 97 of y'all now over the past 3 weeks. See if we can reach over 400 by the end of the month, which is about a week away. One and one to Velazquez. Familia set. And the pitch. Off the outside corner, misses by a couple inches, and it's 2-1. .235 average on the year for Velazquez. Has a walk in the game. Broken bat. Base hit into right there. Lifted that ball to the outfield anyway. Nice piece of hitting. I think it's the second bat he's broken today. Another one broken all the way down at the handle as he got that one off the very end of the bat and beat the shift. 2 out knock there for Velazquez. Lineup circles around here to Morel. The set by Familia. Tosses over to first. Back in there safely is Velazquez. Another pickoff attempt, this one even less close. Don't think the Cubs were interested in stealing second, but now that you've thrown over twice, now maybe you put the thought in their head, getting a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, even with the top of the order coming up. Little tapper in front of home plate. Stubbs makes the play on to first, and that's the third out of the inning. For the Phillies, last chance in the bottom of the ninth, they'll have Castellanos, followed by Stott and Bohm. 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup. We'll see if they can have a little bit more success. Castellanos got a base hit in his last at bat. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Cubs. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Phillies. Nice start today by Drew Smyly of the Cubs. He's probably going to be dealt kind of a low-cost starter option for a team that needs a starter to eat some innings. He should be a nice trade piece as well. I expect a lot of movement as we get closer to the deadline. As soon as this Hall of Fame induction ceremony is over, I expect there to be a lot of news coming out about the deadline, as I think baseball reporters are being kind to the Hall of Fame, allowing them to have their moment in the sun, as they should, honestly. Again, those players who were inducted today: David Ortiz, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Bud Fowler, and Buck O'Neil were all inducted today. Tim Kirkjian will be presented the Career Excellence Award during the weekend, as will Jack Graney. As I was mentioning, over the last couple of live streams that we've done, baseball's done a nice job of building this fan base, allowing there to be the Field of Dreams game last year. Hopefully it'll live up to as good as this year, or as last year's was, with the Cubs and Reds taking part in that one this year. But I think one thing they could do going forward would be a game at Doubleday Field on Hall of Fame weekend. Make that game, the Sunday night baseball game, the game of the night after the Hall of Fame. Have a bunch of early games that start around 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Have the Hall of Fame induction around 2, 3 o'clock. Then you have the game in the evening. All eyes on all the new Hall of Famers in the stands. Have them have some type of ceremony during the game to honor each one and their achievements. That'd be very special, I think, for baseball if they could do something like that. Nick Castellanos coming up, 246 on the year. Had a single back in the second. 657 OPS with 8 home runs. Rafael Ortega remains in the game. He plays in center. Morale shifts to second base. David Robertson, another name to kind of keep your eye on around the trade deadline. Pitched very well for Team USA. He is on for the close, or for the save anyway, here in the bottom of the ninth. Cutter misses the zone, and it's 1-0. Castellanos in his career versus Robertson, 3 for 10, does have a home run, 5 RBIs, but has struck out 5 times. This one popped up and along the first base line in front of the dugout and into the dugout. Rivas unable to make the play, and it's 1-1. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hit that like button and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on the next live stream we do or the short video we post about your favorite team, especially with the trade deadline coming up. We'll keep you up to date on all the latest. Training camps opening up for NFL teams in a very short time. A lot of quarterback controversies. Panthers, are they going to go with Mayfield or Darnold? 1-1 pitch by Robertson to Castellanos. Beneath the knee, and it's 2-1. Good eye there by Castellanos. He's been a very clutch hitter over the past 2.5 years. This year, of course, having a little bit of a down year, trying to live up to that contract. We'll see if he can come through here. That one misses outside, and it's 3-1 now. As the Cubs go into a very big overshift now. 3 infielders between second and third. The pitch. Big swing and 93-mile-an-hour fastball. or cutter anyway. Gets past Castellanos. Looks like he was trying to tie the game on that one. Didn't miss it by much, though. He had the timing down, just didn't have the path quite right. 3-2. Popped up, and that one will get out of play, possibly. Nope. Rivas is there and makes the catch right in front of the dugout. That's the first out of the inning. And Castellanos is retired for the first out here in the bottom of the ninth. Thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. Remember to hit that like button. Stott is due up next to be followed by Alec Bohm. Remember, Real Muto is still on that bench. Should it get to Gregorius? I've got to imagine they would lift Gregorius, as he's not been a very good hitter this year. The pitch right off the outside corner, but gets the call. Phillies fans aren't going to like that one. 0-1 the count now. Stott in his career versus Robertson is 0-for-1. The pitch, well outside. Robertson unhappy with himself, missing his spot. 1-1. Cubs got out to that early lead. Phillies have been clawing their way back as the game has gone along with a Garrett Stubbs home run in the 8th. Now trail by 1. Robertson bounces that one in there, and it's 2-1. Thank you guys for joining us again. Robertson set and the pitch. Fastball right on the outside corner. That one caught a little bit more of the plate that time. 2-2. Yan Gomes back there doing the catching today with Contreras getting the day off. That one just off the outside corner. 3-2. Robertson has a lot of experience closing. Has closed for the Yankees, the Phillies, or in the bullpen for the Phillies. I think he closed a couple of games too. Now with the Cubs here, also with the White Sox as well. That one misses outside, and a one-out walk gets the rally going here in the 9th. Alec Bohm will have a chance to drive in a run here. A double and a gap possibly scores Stott. We saw that earlier today as well. Robertson eyeing Stott over there at first. Times requested. And they'll start it over again. Alec Bohm 2 for 3 on the day. The set by Robertson and the pitch. Fouled back off the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Bohm hitting .280 with a .703 OPS with 6 home runs. Another one fouled off here, and it's 0-2 now. If you can straighten out that foul ball, maybe the Phillies will have something here. But as it is, it's 0-2. Robertson with a chance to put away Alec Bohm. Gregorius would be next, possibly if they don't pitch hit for him. Stott getting a lead off of first. The pitch, fastball at the top of the zone, driven into center, and that one's going to get down in front of Ortega, who flips it in onto third base. But it'll be first and second now with 1 out. Nice piece of hitting by Bohm. Phillies have something cooking here in the bottom of the 9th. Winning run now on first base. Ortega bluffing the catch all the way in. Stott wasn't buying it, though. Still able to get to second, though, before the throw back into the infield. Gregorius is indeed going to be the batter. A little bit surprised they're letting him hit here. 0-1 now as he fouls that one back. Gregorius 0 for 3 on the day. Had his big moments, of course, earlier in his career with the Yankees. This year is having a terrible year. Maybe the second half will be kinder to him. Still a little bit surprised they aren't pinch hitting with Real Muto or something. Another fastball right down the middle, fouled back, and it's 0-2. Robertson quickly ahead. Gregorius hitting .226 on the year, .619 OPS with that one home run. Robertson up to 17 pitches now. Only one out recorded so far in the ninth. Phillies trying to work a comeback. The set by Robertson and the pitch. This one lifted out into left, a couple of steps back as Velazquez makes the catch, flips it on to third, just to make sure Stott doesn't advance. There are two away now in the bottom of the ninth. Phillies down to their last hope. Garrett Stubbs with the home run in the eighth will be that last option anyway for the Phillies. Had that nice home run back in the eighth off of Chris Martin, leading off the eighth inning. Does hit for a very good average. A base hit would be more than enough, though, for the Phillies. They'd be happy with that, as that would probably score at least one. A base hit in the gap anyway might score two. Robertson set. And the pitch. Just off the outside corner by about 3 or 4 inches. And it's 1-0. Stubbs hitting .281, 4 homers, 11 RBIs, and a .343 on base percentage. Had a single and that solo home run, has scored twice in the game. Might be your player of the game for the Phillies if he's able to come through here. Robertson set and the pitch. Fastball right at the knees, 1-1. Phillies running out of opportunities, though. Cubs 2 strikes away here from a victory. The set by Robertson and the pitch. Another curveball, this one in the dirt, blocked nicely by Gomes, and it's 1-2 now. Cubs fans coming to their feet in Philadelphia. They always travel well, even in a down year where they're not expected to win the title or anything like that. Stubbs way out in front. 4-3, runners on first and second, 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Stubbs up there against Robertson. The pitch, swing and a miss, and that's the ball game. A nice strikeout there by Robertson. Got Stubbs to chase that fastball up and away. Giving Stubbs very little time to react to that one. And the ball game is over. Cubs take it 4-3. Yan Gomes, your player of the game for the Cubs, with a couple of solo home runs. Velazquez added another solo shot. Drew Smiley had a very nice start for the Cubs today. Trade deadline again is August 2nd. Make sure you join us that day for the live that we're going to do that day. We're going to start around 10 o'clock and go through the trade deadline about an hour or two afterward. You will very likely see a lot of these Cubs that played in the game today moved at the deadline. But tonight we will have the Padres and Mets. So make sure you tune into that for Sunday Night Baseball. Thank you guys again for joining us. Got 19 of you guys. For those of you who just joined in at the very end of the game, Yan Gomes had a couple of solo home runs for the Cubs. Drew Smiley got through 6, only allowing the 2 runs to score anyway. He pitched very well today. Garrett Stubbs made it interesting in the 8th, making it 4-3, but wasn't able to come through in the 9th, striking out to end the game against David Robertson. Thank you guys again for joining us. Trade deadline, like I mentioned, is coming up, and we'll see you tonight for the Padres and Mets game. Appreciate you guys.